Hey guys, James here. I'm your host. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for showing up at the garage here one more time. We've got a lot to show you today in this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Let's get started on this project. Alright guys, good morning. Welcome back to the shop. It's early Friday morning, about 6:30 in the morning. I try to get here earlier than the rest of the guys and stay later so that I can do the filming here while we're not everybody in the shop here working and making all kinds of noise. We're making progress on the WJ. The lift is all done. I still have some tweaking to do and some alignment issues to finish up, adjusting the control arms. But other than that, the next phase is going to be fender trimming. So I have kind of sketched out some ideas. A lot of guys trim along this edge or down a little bit and they tuck it under. And I want to keep this whole width of this flare. So I think what I'm going to do is cut below and above this tape line here and actually move the whole thing up and then re-weld it. A lot more work probably, but you guys know me. That's kind of how I roll. Yeah, so let's get going. Cheers to Dunkin' Donuts. All right, guys, here we go. Let's get started on this fender trimming project. So we just did the, you've probably seen from other episodes, 6-inch springs, long arms, which I made. I used Clayton brackets, Clayton springs, and then I made the arms, all Johnny joints from Curry. And now it's time to trim these fenders. These are 35 1250 17s. And you can kind of see from my red lines here, that's pretty much generally where guys seem to be trimming. That gives me from this point here to this point here is 36 inches. Figure a 35-inch tire, which this tire is only measuring about 34 inches because it's about half worn out. But what I'm thinking about doing is I want to move this whole flare up and maybe out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is cut along this bottom of this 2-inch tape and then cut along the top, and I'm going to move it up and spread it out. So I'm going to have to cut, not sure where yet, and spread it and then make a fill piece to fill in the middle. And what will be nice about that is I'll be able to retain this lip up in here that holds this inner fender in, so maybe I'll still be able to utilize some of that inner fender. And of course down here a lot of this has to go. This has to get all beat in and all that good stuff. So let's get started. Okay, so I pondered this some more and I'm going to cut here right up basically the center of the axle. I'm going to cut on the bottom of here over to the edge. So I'm going to cut through here. I'm going to cut down the edge and down here, across here, down here, like that. And this whole thing is going to come up 2 inches and back 2 inches. That's my plan. So up and back. And if I fuck it all up, there's a lot more fenders where this one came from. Forgot how thin the sheet metal is. Alright, but basically, so that's where it was. The plan is to move it up and back 2 inches. So basically, about right there. And that'll give me the stock look. And one of the issues I see is me moving this in actually brings it in about a 1/2 inch. So, well, you live and learn. Okay, so to make up for the flare actually moving in when I move it up, I'm gonna cut my top line on this new line here, which you can maybe see is curved. I'm gonna peel this up once I cut it here, and this, so basically this body line will come straight out and it'll have kind of like a Baja flare to it, and then the flare, so it'll be kind of like a little extra something. I think that'll work. Alright, so there's the initial tack. It's kind of got the Baja Fender look thing going now with that little stretch out. I think it looks pretty cool actually. And from a distance here, you can see the difference between that front one. So it's 2 inches up, 2 inches back. Alright, so I got this back part of the fender tacked in. And so what you can see here is I did that little rolled edge, and so the weld is actually below the edge. So that way I kind of can control the body line, and the body line doesn't rely on the weld. The weld is actually going to be below the body line. That's how I've made all my motorcycle gas tanks over the years, and all that good stuff. One of the reasons why I kept the paint on, besides for pure laziness, is that it's actually nice to see the shine and the gloss, to see if I'm flexing the panel or, you know, anything weird. Okay, so down here I got the 2-inch tape on here. I'm going to cut on both sides, and that way I can take this piece, move it over to here, and then that way I retain this bolt. So that bolt will just come over here and will retain that full factory front edge, and almost all of it will be hidden behind that panel anyways, so you won't even see it, the welds. Side panel goes on there, so, and now I'm working on this. I'm going to straighten this up a little bit, curl that edge over.
Alright, so Eric's working in the background, but this is a tucking tool that I made. You can see 3 different depth slots I just cut with a bandsaw. And then you basically go along, stick it up in the edge, and tip it down in it. Like, not a tucking tool. It's well, you could use it for tucking too, but it's a tipping tool to tip that edge over. But first I'm going to pull this edge up with a pair of pliers. So what I want to do is get rid of this body line right here. And I want to just flare this up, and I want this to be flat. So I'm going to take my crescent wrench, which is almost not long enough here, and I'm just going to start tilting this up. And you just work along, and you just slowly work that metal up. Try not to dent it, but it's going to make some dents. Alright, so now that I got that taken out, now I'm gonna take the whole thing and bend it up, almost horizontal. So this is a T-dolly that I made just out of some scrap material one time, and it's my favorite one. I'm just gonna go on and hammer this. Alright guys, here's a little trick for you. If you need to have a really nice grinded cut line, so I had this marked, I cut it with a grinder, but you can see here, I ran a piece of tape along the edge just like how I wanted it, nice and straight. It actually has a little curve to it, and then you can see here, a little bit here, all the way up there. I got protrusions there, so now I can go along with the grinder. Now I can go along with the grinder. So that's about as straight of an edge as you're going to get. Alright, so this is the 2-inch I'm going to take out of the back edge of the front fender. So I'm going to cut on either side of this tape and then move this section over, and that way too it saves, that way you'll still have 2 bolts bolting it together down there. Using the 2-inch tape works nice because it's just, you don't have to measure, you just throw it on there and cut.
that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and click that little notification bell down in the corner somewhere, and that way it gets you notification every time I upload a video, which is generally every Monday morning. I try to get one uploaded. And if you have any comments, don't forget to leave a comment of what you're looking for, what you liked about the video, things that bothered you, or questions that you might have had. So I try to answer everybody's questions. And that's it. So peace out. Have a great one.